Flirkin' friends and soon to be Flirkin' friends. That is, after all, why you're here, right? Actually, I'm guessing you might be interested in what my personal art journey looked like, or why I draw the weird creatures that I do. You also might have just gotten lost and ended up on this video by accident. No worries. I'm Andi. I have the writing and art company Antihero Kreative, and I wanted to take some time today to go over what my art journey looked like and how I progressed from a typical kid scribbling on paper to where I am now. And don't worry, there will be plenty of art for you to see in this video, so stay tuned. So I was fortunate enough to grow up around two artists, sort of artists. Wasn't a career, did never bring in money, but it was absolutely something that they enjoyed 100%. My dad liked to draw cute little cartoony creatures just everywhere. You'd find them in the notes of his papers. You'd find him drawing them at his job in the Coast Guard. It wasn't Coast Guard related, it's fine. And just basically anywhere. And yep, that's a moosefish, just in case you didn't know what one looked like. He had a great sense of humor, and I like to think that I get a lot of my quirkiness from him. On the other side, my mom would look through the picture books on our shelves, and she'd find images and she would replicate them in these stunning pastel pictures. I could sit and watch her for hours as she worked, and I would love to show those to you if they were still around. The problem is my mom never felt like she was good enough. So she got rid of them, and we don't have a record of all that beautiful artwork anymore. I'm happy to say it didn't stop her from doing art, though, just changed things a little bit. So she started looking at different ways to create art. For instance, taking inspiration from my great-great-grandmother's tribal artwork from the Pacific Northwest. So replicate it into things you maybe haven't seen. There's no official jackalope in that artwork if you go to the actual tribes, but using the same principles, and everything is still stunning, beautiful. It's amazing. And now she does her ability to redraw to help fund her and my dad's laser engraving business. So she didn't completely give up art. Now, obviously, it's hard to be around creative people and not want to be creative yourself, right? That's just logic. So seeing them work on all their drawings all the time definitely encouraged me to start drawing. I mean, tell me that's not pure genius. Am I right? I'm right. I also started, as I was going along, started realizing that it was really easy to pair stories and art at the same time to make a more complete story. I did mention I was a writer, didn't I? Pretty sure I did. So you have this perfectly amazing work of genius here. We won't look at the spelling too closely. And I just kept drawing everything that I saw, everything that I thought, and you can even see a tiny bit of inspiration for where my art went. If you squint just a tiny bit. Now, of course, anybody that has a fun hobby that they enjoy, they're going to keep doing it. And the more and more I drew, the more feedback I got, including this fun little thing from, yeah, that actually says 1990 on it. Let's not get into it. That was an art project, and actually featured this really cute note from my art teacher that says, "You did a great job on your poster, Andrea. Have a good summer." So it was some positive feedback, but there was also some negative feedback thrown into that, especially comments like, "Well, you just copied that drawing. You didn't do it yourself." Fan art wasn't the biggest term bandied around in the 80s. Yes, I'm dating myself. I got it. So if you were drawing something else, people just immediately jumped on you and accused you of copying. Or they got on my case for drawing weird creatures that they had never seen before and didn't really understand. So kind of a mixed bag, but I had enough positive that I wanted to keep going. And that's about when I started to hit the wall of creativity artwork versus educational smart. I had a lot of people that would come up to me and say, so you can't be a unicorn, right? That's not a thing. By the way, that is what I wanted to be for the longest time. You need to pick something that is smart and goes with your intelligent brain. So you're an impressionable child. What do? In my case, I believe them. And so I decided I could still do art, but I probably needed to stick to topics that made sense. So if I was going to be a marine biologist, orcas were okay. They were safe to draw. But I still let a little rebellion in there, just a tad. You can't prove that isn't an actual dinosaur that we just haven't found yet, can you? No, you cannot. So I will admit I let people get to me and I started thinking my art was not that great. And throughout the upper grades, especially high school and even into college, I stopped drawing. Maybe a doodle here or there on the corner of my notes, but not anything I shared with anybody, not anything consistent. But now we're going to fast forward to spring 2023 when I came across Aubrey Hirsch's Comics for People Who Can't Draw. And I absolutely did not sign up for this course because I wanted to rebel against people who said I couldn't draw. I was able to get into my first experience with digital art. I'm going to actually just say art. And it is rough, but here, I'll let you look at it. I know, it's rough, right? I'm not offended if you laugh. But with my work in the class, I had so much positive feedback from my classmates, from Aubrey, that I started playing around with it a little bit more. And that included making this comic that you're about to see that I called Just Swim Down. It didn't get a lot of takers, didn't followers or anything like that, but I had a blast making it. And now we come to October of 2023. And one of my favorite creators, Meg's Mashables, yes, I will drop her link down in the description for you, runs a monthly art challenge called Mashaween every year. And I told myself to go for it, that I just wanted to take that chance and see about, trying something other than a comic, maybe like an actual illustration. And it didn't turn out half bad, if I say so myself. People liked it. I had people who were positive and they commented on it, and Meg herself was sharing my work, and it was a hugely positive experience. I told myself that I needed to do more of that work. I needed to find something else to do. And so when a friend of mine named Anne came up with the idea of doing a Meow-vember, I had to do it. You can't not, right? Who would? Who would skip out on that? No, come on. When you get positive feedback and you have people who are supporting you, you want to continue doing something. That's just human nature. So it only made sense for me to keep looking for new challenges to do, whether that was Mutant March, where I was like, hey, I can take the creatures from one of my science fiction novels and apply it to the challenge, and it's going to look like it's supposed to make sense, like it should be there. Or, jumping in, okay, not pun intended, but, pun intended, to mermaid and experimenting with playing around with like a new way of looking at my creatures and everything. And it was just so easy to just keep going, such as in just to Smogus. There's a nice glare on that. I'm so sorry. Or, you know, of finding different art challenges online, like Fall for Disney. Isn't Bruce cute? You know you love him. I also just wanted to keep learning, keep growing, keep challenging myself to take that next step and that next step and that next step. Okay, so now we're into October of 2024, and I had a whole year of finding tutorials, doing online art classes, experimenting, just whatever my brain wanted to do. And I had come back around to Mashaween, and I had to do it again. I had to see my progress. I mean, you tell me, can you see a difference? With all of the positivity that I had and the support system that I had with me, I wanted to take one more brave step, one more horrifyingly scary step, and I opened my coffee shop, which you might have found this video from that, because I really thought that my cute little artwork made great stickers. I mean, come on, who doesn't want those? It was also fun because I could find ways to encourage other people that made sense to me, even if it was a little weird and quirky. And I could share a little bit of artwork for those who maybe have a neurodivergence to themselves. Like maybe yours truly has, you know, just a little. But I wanted to make all of that options available to these people who had been so warming and welcoming for me. Of course, what does a coffee mean? It means you have to consistently produce more work. But luckily, there were plenty of challenges out there that were really inspiring for me, like Novemberton. That was actually a really fun one. You have to admit, I mean, who doesn't love Tim Burton? But I was able to just keep finding more challenges for myself and just getting so inspired and so excited about them. I mean, this is just pure precious. You can't tell me you don't see that. But the other thing that I had noticed is even though I might have been drawing fan art, nobody cared. It was okay. It was acceptable. Nobody was going to call me out on it. And that was so rewarding to the younger me who had put up with so much antagonism in that realm. So now we're in 2025, which is crazy to think about in a lot of different ways. I still wanted to keep going. I still wanted my art to get better. I didn't want to just kind of be like, yep, I'm done. I've peaked. This is as good as it gets. So I enrolled in 21 Draws art classes. Yep, dropping the link below for you. And just kept going. One of the first classes I took was on using alcohol markers because I wanted to get back into seeing, did I still enjoy traditional art the way I had as a kid? And yeah, I still enjoy it so much. By the way, that's part of my Bizarre Menagerie series. Those originals, and original means there's only one of each, are up in my coffee shop, or will be depending on when you watch this. So if you want them, get them while they're here. And of course, I still wanted to keep up with my digital work because it was fun. I was enjoying having a good time with it. Why wouldn't I do that? So kind of where are things now? Well, I took another really horrifying, scary, big step and decided that I wanted to put some of my designs up on Threadless because who doesn't want this awesomeness on shirts or bags or, you know, you name it. I also kind of found that I had the ability to support causes with my art, what I believed in, what messaging did I want to put out there. Did I want to give credit to organizations like, oh, I don't know, Pride. Hello, my aces. It was a way for me to have more work out there that I could get in more ways than I could personally produce by myself for my coffee. So no, learning doesn't ever stop. I'm not going to stop learning. I'm not going to stop taking classes and tutorials and working to figure things out as much as possible, because I want to keep getting better. I want to keep succeeding. I want to keep having fun. And one of the best things about taking a look over your art journey is you get to see where you came from. You get to see the beginnings of what you were when you were figuring out your style, when you were learning, and then you can see how you started progressing a little bit more every year until you reach something that you are so amazingly proud of that you're struggling to be like, was that me? Did I do that? That's the most important part of having an art journey, right? What I really want and hope that people take away from this little adventure into my brain is that if I believe the people who said you can't, or it's too late to try, or this doesn't make sense, I wouldn't be here now. I wouldn't have this. I wouldn't feel inspired every single day to do something. Dreams don't have time limits. Just repeat that to yourself. So if you love something, you need to go for it. You need to get out there with everything. So I'm curious, is there a dream that you have, either one, that maybe you have put on a shelf somewhere because somebody said, nah, that's not for you, but you still wonder about it? If so, drop it down in the comments, because I would love to hear and see and offer you some absolutely amazing support, because you are not on a deadline. You can still do whatever you want. And of course, I have all the links to both my Ko-Fi and my Threadless down in the description, as well as the other links that I mentioned. And if you'd love to support my continuing art journey, please, it helps me pay bills and take care of the little minions. I would be beyond thankful for you for anything that you can do. And I mean, really, who doesn't need a little flicking in their life? You know you do. Thanks so much. I really appreciate you hanging in there with me today.